Bad. I mean, gosh, and you know, there's so many different effects from what's going on here. And this weekend was a good microcosm of what's happened to us all summer long and really back into the winter. Expecting a great weekend for precip, or at least a chance for decent storms both days. That really didn't materialize for us. So what happened here? Well, we had a decent crop of storms on Saturday, including here in the metro area, where we had enough moisture set up that we got, well, over 3/4 of an inch of rain in the heights throughout the day on Saturday. Sunday, initially, at least a few days ago, looked like it'd be a pretty good setup as well. However, it didn't work out that way. We started to draw in some more dry air from the west. That pushed the moisture out of here. So by the time we got to Sunday afternoon, there wasn't enough moisture for the atmosphere to work with, and we end up with partly cloudy skies. A spot storm here and there, but nothing to make a big difference. So we were 1 for 2 over a weekend that we badly needed to be 2 for 2. So this is just the kind of setup for us that's been very difficult. And this time of year, nothing more frustrating than when you're forecasting the weather and you end up with a day that's dry where you need the rain. As far as what's going on throughout the area tonight, well, partly cloudy skies out there. It's not going to be necessarily a great week for storms out there, and I'll explain why. But we are still getting some storms across southwestern sections of the state, whether it be Doñana County over into Sierra County or into areas of Grant County this evening. These showers will continue for another few hours, then continue to die off as well. 78 in the metro right now. Winds out of the south, 7 miles an hour, 70s and 80s across the north, down to the south, anywhere from the 60s all the way up into the 80s as well. Satellite and radar shows not a lot of moisture cranked up throughout the northern half of the state for today. Mainly a weather disturbance well to our south and west is pushing enough moisture in to the southwestern portion of the state to support storms. And throughout the rest of the week here, high pressure, which is just slightly to the east right now, is going to park back over the state here. That is a terrible setup for us to do very well for moisture. Now, it's not that we're totally going to be locked out of the showers. We are going to draw some moisture in from the east here. So 3 big things are going to happen for us this week. And so when you can bring out the 3 amigos, you have to do that. So let's talk about the 3 things that are going to affect our weather. Number 1, we are going to drag a cold front into the northeast late tomorrow and into Wednesday. That'll juice up the atmosphere across the east for a few showers. High pressure is going to let a little bit of that moisture creep in underneath it here. So it's not like the high is going to completely lock out the moisture, but it's also not going to allow for a ton of it to come in across the state. However, as we get into a Friday and Saturday, there is the possibility of a little weather disturbance rolling over the top of the state. If that happens, that could help us fire up some more storms. The problem is, depending on this, or even thinking it's a good situation, is probably a fool's endeavor right now because nothing has worked out for us. But at least that chance sits there at the end of the week and into the weekend to give us a shot for showers. So we go cold front underneath the high for the next few days, and then we'll hope for the weekend for more storms. And that's exactly what your 7-day reflects in Durango and Farmington. A little better chance of showers toward the end of the work week. Down to the south and west, temperatures here 80s and 90s, partly cloudy, some scattered storms once again. And you guys are closest to some of the deepest moisture, so you'll get the shot at some storms, but even the southwest, not necessarily looking at storms every day, just that chance at about 20%. South and east, temperatures for the most part in the high 90s, spot storm or 2, especially possible over areas like the Sacramento Mountains, but everywhere else can be largely dry. 92 Springer, 80 in Mora, 95 in Santa Rosa, partly cloudy, scattered storms. We get that chance through Wednesday thanks to the front pushing the moisture in. Meanwhile, over the northern mountains, temperatures here 70s, 80s, and 90s, partly cloudy with a chance at scattered afternoon storms, especially over the next couple of days, and we'll watch the weekend to see if that ends up working itself out. High 80s and low 90s in the East Mountains with scattered storms. Here in Albuquerque, we've got a shot at a shower tomorrow. That's at about 20%. It's not great, but the next couple of days, at least there's that chance. Probably pretty quiet on Thursday, and then we'll watch the weekend here to see if that little low develops for us. If it does, we could be in business.
Temps are not too bad.
No, they're getting better. You're right.
We'll be right back. Sports is next.